We have every right to talk about what's going on in the earth because this land initially was given to the lost tribes of Israel. Right? Now, how do I know this? Christopher Columbus in his Dialis, he was using second Esdras to find the lost tribes that were already over here. Okay? Okay, and another thing, they try to put them under the banner of Spain. Folks, Christopher Columbus was Jewish. Okay? 100%. It's documented.
That's right.
So you have to watch because sometimes they hide under other ethnicities like being Spanish or try to claim, well, okay, or we were Christians. All right? But let's go here real quick. Let me prove real quick, if you will. Let's go right here real quick. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter and the 39th verse. And I need you to read that real quick, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Second Esdras, yeah, in the Apocrypha.
Yes, sir. 2nd Esdras 13, verse number 39.
Let's read that real quick. Yes, sir.
And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive.
Come on.
And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
And so came they into another land, the new world. So we, the 10 tribes of Israel from the northern kingdom, were here first. And guess what? We visited them here. Well before Rome began to send spies over here, before the Roman eagle came to the shores of the new world, we were already interacting and trading with our brothers and sisters over here already. So we don't want to hear this crap talking about if you don't like it, go back to Africa and all this. Well, you all came from someplace else. And this is why they want to push strictly the slave trade as our history. Nah, our people was here before the slave trade. This is our land. That's first and foremost. And this is why I'm going to tell you, to prove to you that they know it's our land, folks. Now that the truth have been founded, they're dismantling everything. So it's not even about just preserving European as the majority race, because they're using everybody against us. Okay. And see, and I'm so glad it's starting to figure out, because now if we start to understand what the Most High did in us when it comes to prophecy and the lands he's given us, now we can dig 10 toes down and say, nah, you're not moving us back any further. Okay? We're God's people. We're going to dig 10 toes down and say that this land was given to us by our forefathers. And that's why they're seeking to dismantle it, because why? And I'm going to show y'all through this broadcast. Because we finally woke up. We finally woke up and realized who we were. Okay? We finally woke up, and now they're saying, well, you know what? We need to throw everything at them at once. And that's the confusion we read about in 2nd Esdras. Let's read it, Elder. Come on.
Yes, sir. Verse number 41.
Read 40 again.
Yes, sir. Verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
And so came they into another land. Come on.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt, the new world. And this is why they do not allow our people to read the Apocrypha in the Bible. They try to claim that it's not spiritually inspired, and it isn't important. That's why. It connects the dots. So we were here already interacting and trading with our brothers and sisters. Even while we were in Africa, we were trading with the 10 tribes here, the Israelites. So now it puts everything in perspective now. Okay? It say, well, hold up. It's nothing for them to push all these different people on us because they were the original illegals. Coming around, colonizing while migrating, disturbing things so that they can do what? Steal everything that was promised to God's people. But the gig is up.
Mm-hmm.
The gig is, we know now. So because we know, they're going to throw everything at us. That's the confusion. Trans and other religions, bringing people over, causing confusion. Okay? Social warfare, psyops. 42, read it.
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
So it says they went into a further country where never mankind dwelt, brothers and sisters, America. That's before the white man got here. It happened in 721 BC. We left in 721 BC, the 10 tribes, and we got to the Americas around 718 BC. Almost over 700 years before Christ was born, we were already here on the land, interacting with our brothers and sisters. There were no such people as the Romans when our people came here. That they might what?
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
So that we can try to and attempt to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments that we broke in ancient Israel. Mm-hmm. They came over here to establish a new Jerusalem, a new Israel. Because the Most High did what? He took the 10 tribes off the land and said, because of your disobedience, I will rid you of the land, but I'm giving you an extension of the land here in the Americas. Try it again. Do what's right over here. Okay? So this land initially was given to the lost tribes of Israel. This land, as far as inheritance go, belongs to us. And guess what? The Gentiles know it. And what they do through Hollywood, they'll just push the slave narrative so that we can begin to believe that we really belong to Africa. They'll come with false science. Oh yeah, we found the first black bones here in Africa. Go back there and look at them. So that we don't fight injustices where we are. So we don't stand for who we are as a people. If we realize we Israel and what God prophesied, what we're going through in the earth today, then guess what? We'll begin to come together. And not only just come together, we'll pray together. We'll seek the Most High together. And we will begin to become civil amongst one another. And by doing so, support each other through the trouble. And at the same time, we'll understand the enemy who's working amongst us. And that's why they don't want us to understand who we are as a people. Okay? Because as a people, if you understand what race you are, what nation you are, now you'll seek to do what? To preserve that nation, to protect that nation. See? to do the history on the enemies who've always disrupted that nation. But if you're running around not understanding where you're from, then there's nothing to protect. That's the importance of us coming back to who we are. Now, jumping right back, a year in review, and I just mentioned earlier for those that in 2nd Esdras, it talks about what? Let me go back here again. It speaks of these particular signs to look for before the coming of our Lord and Savior. The slaying of the great ones, where they're going to be using psyops to come after God's people. They'll say it's for everyone else, but they're seeking to kill the children of Israel in number. The 12 signs leading to the return of Christ. Commotions, them starting commotions. Okay? Slayings of the great ones, seeking to target the children of Israel. The third part, the fall of many by death. Okay? They'll sit around and they will conspire on new ways of destroying people and destroying babies too. Convincing people that it's okay to get rid of their own children. Sending of the sword, which is war. Here are the parts in 2nd Esdras. 2nd Baruch, chapters 27 and 28. Famine and the withholding of rain, earthquakes, terrors, attacks of the specters in the Shadim, which is demonic attacks, fall of fire, rapine and oppression, people can't pay their rent, rise in homelessness was prophesied, wickedness, because people can't afford to do anything, they're going to have to rob, kill, and steal. See? And then what? Unchastity, because women have to sell their bodies to survive. The Bible said what was going to happen. And then, the prophets showed us what would happen. And then the part above all of them is the confusion. Because imagine throwing all of this at a people who don't know left from right, up from down. Confusion as a result of all these evils loosed at once at this generation. Right? Elder Lawyer, let's go in. Let me pull you in real quick. Let me pull you in here. Let me pull you in. And some people might ask, well, okay, why is Christ and the Most High allowing this? Now, I'm going to go back to these scriptures I've just mentioned a little later, because in 2nd Esdras 13, it also speaks of Christ coming back to save those same people he gave this land to. Okay? Same people. Right? Let me get my notes here. All right. Elder Lawyer, if you can, if you will. Let's go in the Bible real quick. Let's go to Matthew 17, verse 17. The Most High is allowing this. Let's go to Matthew 17, verse 17, if you will.
Yes, sir. Matthew 17, verse 17.
Yes.
Then Yeshua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation.
Oh, what?
O faithless and perverse generation.
Oh, faithless and perverse generation. See, a lot of people thought that he was talking about just the generation during his time. But when you look at the prophetic generations, it's the times, and a dividing of times. It's the generation from the time Christ was born until the time he would return. That's the generation he's talking about. To where the world, specifically also God's people, would be what? Faithless. Without faith. So it's easy to be what? Manipulated, confused. And what? Perverse. perverse. So now the Most High must do what? He must allow a purging. Some will see the error of their ways and come back under his hedge, change their lives for the better and get on the path, and others will only become more confused. All the way until what? Until their confusion takes them. Because if you don't know what's going on in this earth, the enemy is going to have you. He's going to convince you to off yourself.